Hello everybody, welcome to our DVC journey. Today I am joined with a couple of special guests. I feel they are special. My nephews. This is my nephew Sean and my nephew Lauren. They're both brothers and they are down here, as you can tell in the background, at Old Key West. We had our spring break vacation, all our families together, but it was a little bit different because we come down on our points, of course, being DVC members, and Lauren and Sean are not DVC members. So how was it they were able to stay here without being DVC members and not staying on my points because I don't have enough points for everyone to stay here? So give you some background. We have, my family, a two-bedroom two-bedroom accommodations here at Old Key West, and we also got my sister and brother-in-law, their parents, a studio. And then Lauren and Sean, both of them, got together and decided they were going to rent DVC points from another member. And who knows, maybe it was you if you're watching. So we're going to talk about that because I've never done that. Gail and I have never rented points. We've always had our points, and we've never rented points out. So how do you do that? So we're going to go through that process with them, because if you're considering renting points, maybe they have some experience with this that might be helpful to you. So we're going to get right into this. So first of all, who did you rent from?
We rented through David's Rental, I believe it's called.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And how did you come about choosing David's Rental? How does someone find a rental company?
It was YouTube videos. I don't think yours specifically.
Yeah,
Somebody else's, but
right.
YouTube videos, online research, and it was highly recommended to use them on different videos and online. So just went through them, pretty quick and easy.
So the process was simple?
Yep. Just went online. They give you an estimate on how many points or how much it would cost for the week that you want to go based on the resort. So you can just go there, choose the resort that you want to stay at, the amount of bedrooms that you want to stay at, and it'll give you an approximate as far as the points that you want.
Okay, and in that process, of course, you rented a few months ago. You contracted that as far as a rental. How did you come about getting the dates that you wanted? Because we were going on spring break. We're here right now, obviously. By the time this is aired, we'll be gone. But how did you make all that come together with our dates?
They tell you when you can reserve. So it'll have a calendar that's there, and it'll let you only up to a certain date. So if you're trying to book too far in advance, you can't even click on that date. It'll let you know how soon it was. But I do think it was still within that 11-month window.
Oh, okay.
My thought process, knowing a little bit about DVC and the points, how it works, I think that if they try to get members that are selling points that are at that resort specifically. So it might have been somebody from Old Key West where we could.
Right, so this would be their home
window.
resort.
Correct,
yeah, that's a good point. That gives you that 11-month booking window, which is very helpful. We don't have this as our home resort, so you actually got your room reservation before we did. And what we did was we booked Saratoga Springs because that is our home resort, so we were able to get the 11-month booking window to reserve a room for that 11 months, just in case Old Key West didn't have a room available. So once we got into that 7-month booking window, then we transferred our reservation over to Old Key West, and that's how we got ours. So that's a good point. So how many nights did you get? Because you were on a little bit of a different schedule than we are as far as coming down. So how many nights?
So we got the Old Key West resort from Friday to Friday, so a full week.
Okay.
And we actually arrived the day before as well and stayed at one of the value hotels as well.
Okay, so you were on property the night before your reservation at Old Key West. So a value resort, which value resort was it?
All-Star Movie.
All-Star Movie. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference. We love all the resorts. As Gail and I have mentioned, we've stayed at the value resorts. If you're low on points, you don't have enough points to stretch that vacation, we've stayed at the moderates and the value resorts, so we like all of the resorts. But that's interesting. So I got to ask this question. You stayed for a week. You got a 2-bedroom. How much money was it?
It was somewhere between 7,500 to 8,000 for
Okay.
the week.
Okay, so,
Yep.
all right, so it's quite costly, depending on who you are. To me, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So shifting gears from that, with the money that you spent, what was now, Sean, you've been down here several times with our family, staying at Old Key West. I believe from college days you were coming down and staying with us. Lauren, you've stayed on property a couple of times, once as an adolescent, you kids, I call you kids, grown men, and then one time when you were in college, but never at a DVC Deluxe resort. So you're going from a value resort and you're coming to Old Key West. I'd like to know what your first thought was opening the door into a deluxe resort like Old Key West.
So coming from the value to Old Key West, one thing that jumps out right away is it feels more like a home, which is nice when you have a family of 4. My mother-in-law joined us as well. The space is big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just the amenities within Old Key West, having access to a full-size fridge, a freezer, dishwasher, stove, and all that stuff allows you to kind of meal prep, so you don't find yourself eating out. So while it may cost a lot, it feels like a lot up front.
Mm-hmm.
You actually are probably saving money from eating out at the different places
Yes,
quite a
yeah.
bit in the parks.
Good point, because we utilize the kitchen too, just depending on what the trip is, but a lot of times we do prepare meals inside the room. That saves us a lot of money, so that's a good point. Although it costs you $7,000-8,000, you take a family of 4. Just a side note, you guys went to Chef Mickey's
Yes.
and for breakfast, and I think for an adult and 1 child, it's got to be $100 or a little bit over $100. I can't remember what it is per adult and per child.
I would estimate it's right around there with gratuity. For
Yeah,
an
right,
adult
right.
child, right.
So just one meal out. I know it's a character dining. That's more expensive for, the characters that are there. But, that's $250 for one meal. So even if you go to a restaurant that doesn't have character dining on property, you're going to spend a lot of money. So that's true that you are able to save money in one area than in another. And talking to your mother-in-law, Gail, she had mentioned when she walked in, she just loves the floor plan. Like you say, the space.
Yeah. And the floor plans really worked well for our combining our families to stay there. Each room has its own bathroom, full bath. So that's awesome. There's also like a separate vanity area versus the shower and the toilet. So while people are trying to get around to hustle out to rope drops and things like that, it makes things more functional, right? And that's a huge thing when you're doing a trip and you're trying to fit so much in, is functionality to kind of meet what your family's goals are to have the experience you're hoping to have.
And I'm impressed because you're already learning the lingo. Rope drop, like old pro, right? And rope dropping and what have you.
You hear it 4 days in a row,
Oh yeah,
it sticks
yeah.
in your mind.
Yeah, so Lauren and his family did the 4 parks in 4 days. And if you've ever done that, you know how that is. And the kids are how old, Lauren?
Grayson actually just turned 11, so we came down on his birthday that Thursday before we started our stay at Old Key West, just to kind of make it a little special. And then Kinsley's 7.
Okay. All right. So that's a go, nonstop schedule. And with DVC, we always say this. If you're a DVC member, you don't have to have that go. We'll go into a park, and if there's not availability, the lines are long. We don't want to buy Genie Plus or a Lightning Lane. Whatever. We'll come back next year. We'll get it next year.
Mm-hmm.
You get that flexibility. When you're not a DVC member, you got to cash in everything, every moment that you have.
Yep.
And you know, I know that the family enjoyed it, the kids loved it. We've got some great memories, and that's what it's all about. You know, as far as DVC for us is the memories, building those memories. You know, so question for both of you: would you rent points again or no?
Absolutely. If we're coming down again, I think that's just, like I said, the flexibility that makes the trip more enjoyable. We totally rent points again.
Okay, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It is cheaper than buying direct from Disney. The downside is the cancellation policy, which there is none. So that would be something to note.
Okay, tell me this again, because
So
we didn't discuss
you,
this.
once it's booked, that's it.
Okay.
Whereas if you booked a trip through Disney, there's insurance that you can buy through it, and if you got to cancel your trip and maybe reschedule, you get that money back, or you know, kept with Disney for a future vacation.
Okay.
This, when you're renting, that's it. You know,
Okay.
so when it's booked, there's no cancellation policy. That DVC member used their points, they secured it for you.
That's it.
It's it. Yep.
Done
so
deal. Okay.
coming no matter what, or you're out the money.
Okay. So you're comparing it to paying a cash room from Disney, not buying DVC, but paying a cash room from Disney. You have a cancellation process.
yeah.
With David's Rental, there's no cancellation. It's a done deal.
Yep.
And how much money did you have to put up front for that?
Ooh, now you're asking hard ones. It wasn't much at first, but within after the booking was secured, it was within a few days after that we had to have the rest of the payment
Okay.
up front. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right, so there you have it. Again, we're not affiliated with any rental company. There's all other rental companies that are out there. So this is one that they just chose on their own, you know, doing research, that decided to go with David's Rental. They're pleased with it, and you know, just wanted to share that experience because we've never had that experience, but wanted to share it with you guys. And really what it is it's kind of like a test drive for DVC. You know, if someone's
yeah, that's true.
considering, should I get DVC, shouldn't I? Because this week we were talking to someone on the monorail, a nice family, and they're contemplating, is it something that we should get into, isn't it? Because there's so many different factors. They lived only an hour and a half away, so for them it's like long weekends, you know, kind of a thing. So it's kind of, again, we compare it to buying an annual pass. Is the value there? Isn't the value? So I leave this to you guys out there. Have you rented from other DVC rental companies that are available out there? What was your experience? What was your experience with David's Rental? You know, we'd love to have that and share that with the community here. But anyway, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your wonderful vacations, and we are doing a barbecue in just a few hours, a cookout. So we got to prep for that and have a family memory being built again. So thank you guys for joining me, and as we always say, thank you for joining us on our DVC journey, and we look forward to seeing you on our next DVC journey. Bye.